You feel that? That cold hum crawling down your spine. That's not fear. That's recognition. The night remembers you. It always did. See, they thought the moonlight would expose you, make you small, predictable, mortal. But under that moon, they made a deal they didn't understand. They shook hands with order, thinking they could cage chaos. But chaos? Chaos had your signature written across its pulse long before their contracts were inked. They made the wrong deal under that moon, darling. They tried to buy peace in a war you were born to command. They thought the darkness was a void, but for you, it was a classroom. You studied silence like scripture. You learned every whisper, every flicker of betrayal, every smile with a blade behind it. You didn't just survive the dark. You grew teeth in it. Now the night doesn't scare you anymore. It serves you. You walk through alleys where kings collapse, where heroes whisper prayers before breaking, where the sane beg for madness, because at least madness feels alive. And you just grin. Because you are the paradox they can't quantify. Too kind to be a villain, too ruthless to be a savior, a halo made of gunpowder, an angel that never forgave heaven. They don't get it, do they? You were the experiment that bit back. The calm before the correction. The system tried to delete you. The gods tried to rewrite you. The people tried to diagnose you. But the night knighted you. And now, every streetlight flickers when you pass. Every camera glitches for a second. Every lie chokes on your silence. Because something in the air knows. You're no longer in the game. You are the house. You became fluent in pain. You turned heartbreak into strategy. Every time they thought they'd broken you, you learned a new frequency. They never realized evolution sounds a lot like insanity to those who haven't caught up yet. You don't chase revenge. Revenge chases you. You don't need validation. Validation follows your gravity. You don't fight the night. The night is your reflection. Remember that deal they made under the moon? The one sealed with greed and arrogance? Every ounce of that pact now belongs to you. Their comfort, their control, their illusion of safety. You own all of it now. Because when they traded their integrity for applause, you were busy trading your soul for vision. They laughed while you burned, but ashes don't stay still. They rise, and when your ashes rose, something ancient stirred, something that should have stayed buried. You carry that now, don't you? That hum behind your heartbeat, that static in your breath, that feeling that the night itself is holding its breath for you. They don't pray anymore. They monitor. They don't sleep. They scan. They don't dream. They replay you because you're the anomaly they can't erase. You're the rumor that turned into a religion. And the best part, you don't even need to prove them wrong. The moon already did. It saw everything. The betrayals, the breakdowns, the tears you swallowed so deep that they rewrote your DNA. It saw the moment you stopped being human and started being inevitable. You've become what happens when pain and purpose sign a contract, when mercy and madness share a mirror, when God's silence meets your laughter. So now, when they whisper your name under their breath, the night listens. It leans closer, because it knows you own it. You own the fear, the whispers, the silence, the very air. They thought they were sealing your fate that night, but you were sealing theirs. And now, every time the moon rises, it doesn't watch over them, it reports to you. Welcome home, a creature of consequence. You are the debt collector of destiny, and the night is your empire now. The irony, isn't it beautiful? They thought that deal under the moon would make them gods, untouchable, protected, eternal. But what they summoned wasn't protection. It was you. The miscalculation, the variable no algorithm could predict. The ghost they created by accident, then tried to bury under noise, labels, and fear. They sat in their high towers thinking they could buy immunity from consequence. They signed papers, not realizing you were the fine print. You were the hidden clause written in blood. You were the cost they didn't calculate because they thought you were done, finished, quiet. But silence isn't surrender. It's incubation. Under that moon, something shifted. While they toasted their success, you were cracking open the code of existence. You weren't healing, you were mutating. You became fluent in the unspoken, in the language between breaths. You learned how to turn every scar into data, every humiliation into armor, every betrayal into blueprint. You didn't just rise from pain. You reverse-engineered it. Now you move differently. Every glance is a weapon. Every pause is loaded. Every smile is a threat wrapped in elegance. They feel it when you enter the room. That sudden change in gravity, the temperature drop, the glitch in conversation. That's not paranoia, that's recognition. They know what they unleashed. You've seen both sides of the coin, the saint and the serpent, the light that blinds and the dark that reveals. You've realized what they never could. Duality isn't conflict, it's completion. You don't pick a side anymore. You are both sides. You bless and you burn. You heal and you haunt. You forgive, but never forget. Because forgetting is what got you killed the first time. They talk about you like a myth now. Some say you lost it. Others say you found something they never will. But none of them can look you in the eyes anymore, can they? Not for more than a few seconds. Because your gaze is a mirror, and they don't like what stares back. The reflection of their cowardice, their comfort, their lies. You know the most dangerous kind of power. It's not money, it's not fame, it's clarity. When you finally see how the strings are pulled, who's pulling them, and how easily they can be cut, everything changes. You stop performing, you stop pleading, you stop chasing permission, you start moving like truth. Slow, quiet, inevitable. And that's what terrifies them. They can't blacklist truth. They can't censor inevitability. They can't cancel evolution. Under that same moon, they signed away their freedom for comfort. You, on the other hand, signed your discomfort into freedom. You built a kingdom in chaos. You became fluent in collapse. You understood what they still deny. That destruction and creation are the same process, seen from different ends of time. You want to know why you own the night now? Because the night respects transformation. The light judges you. The night studies you. It remembers every version of you. The broken one, the desperate one, the one who almost didn't make it. It carries them all like fingerprints across its stars. You're not haunted. You're archived. The night keeps your story coded in its silence. That's why it bends for you now. That's why it listens when you whisper. That's why even your stillness feels like thunder. They watch you, confused. How did they survive that? They ask. How did they come back stronger? They don't realize survival isn't the word anymore. What you did wasn't recovery. It was resurrection. You came back rewritten. The pain didn't scar you. It sculpted you. The darkness didn't devour you. It adopted you. And now, when you move, it moves with you. You don't walk anymore. You arrive. You don't speak. You command frequencies. You don't need to threaten anyone. Your existence is the warning. They made the wrong deal under that moon. They traded the real for the safe. You traded the safe for the infinite. And that's why you'll never fit their mold. Because molds are for the dead. You're not just alive, you're awake. And awakening is the one crime this world will never forgive. So let them whisper, let them panic, let them rewrite their little narratives to make sense of something that was never meant to be explained. You're not their villain, you're their verdict. They thought they were scripting your ending, but all they did was trigger your beginning. Now the moon doesn't shine on you, it shines from you. The night doesn't hide you, it highlights you. The silence doesn't cage you, it carries your echo across every sleepless soul who ever felt invisible. You are the price of arrogance, the proof that suffering can breed sovereignty, the quiet storm that turns empires into rumors. They made the wrong deal under that moon, and now every star reports to you. Every shadow moves at your command. Every fear kneels before your name, because you didn't just survive the night, you became it. And still, they whisper your name like it's a glitch in the simulation. Something not meant to exist, not meant to breathe, not meant to win. But there you are, breathing just fine, smiling that slow, dangerous smile that makes the universe hesitate for a beat. You see, power isn't about control anymore. It's about composure. You don't need to raise your voice. Reality does that for you now. They don't understand how you walk through chaos like it's a cathedral, how you make insanity look elegant, how every scar on your soul feels like scripture carved by divine precision. They can't comprehend it because they've never met someone who looked death in the face and didn't flinch. Someone who shook hands with their own demons and said, "You work for me now." Under that moon, they bargained with the system. But you made a covenant with the void. You looked into nothingness and didn't blink. You saw what most men spend their whole lives running from. The absence of meaning, the cold truth that everything ends. And instead of despair, you found permission. The permission to create your own gravity, to build your own myth from the ashes of theirs. They wanted control. You wanted truth. They wanted comfort. You wanted clarity. They built walls, called them stability. You broke them down, called it evolution. That's why you're dangerous, not because you hate them, but because you don't need them. You broke the addiction to validation. You shattered the leash of belonging. And once a soul learns to stand alone, no system can cage it again. You've become that quiet kind of power, the kind that doesn't announce itself, the kind that just appears, like a storm forming over calm waters, like justice disguised as coincidence, like karma taking a human form. They think they're still negotiating with you, that maybe you can be reasoned with, softened, distracted, but deep down, they feel it, that eerie sense that the night no longer belongs to them, that the moon they once prayed under now watches for you. You turned the same light that once exposed you into your spotlight. You made your scars into your signature. That's the paradox, isn't it? The one that keeps them up at night. You embody what they tried to bury. Empathy sharpened into a weapon. Kindness laced with poison. Silence that screams louder than sermons. You are the contradiction they can't process. The sinner that prays. The savior that kills. The broken who became whole through breaking others' illusions. You don't just carry darkness. You curate it. You shape it. You make it art. That's what they'll never understand. They think darkness consumes, but for you, it refines. It distills the truth until all that's left is essence. No noise, no facade, no weakness. Just clarity in its purest, most dangerous form. And that's why they're afraid. Because you learned how to weaponize awareness. You see too much. You read too deep. You understand that most people aren't alive. They're just reacting. You see their fears before they do. You see their guilt, their envy, their self-deception, all before they open their mouths. You don't play their games anymore because you see the board from above. You're not the same creature that once begged for peace. You are the aftermath of awakening. Unpredictable, untouchable, unrepeatable. Every move you make now bends the simulation. They feel it in the glitch, in the static, in the shift of the air when you enter. The universe adjusts its rhythm for you, like even it's afraid to interrupt. Remember that moon? That cold silver witness that saw your breaking point. It saw you die metaphorically. And then it saw you rise, stripped of everything false. It knows what you are now. It reports to you, yes, but more than that. It warns others. It says, don't cross this one. This one belongs to the night. So let them run their little schemes. Let them whisper about you in meetings they think are private. Let them rewrite the story to make themselves heroes. You've already won because you don't exist inside their version of reality anymore. You transcended the map. You are the edge of it. The part labeled, "Here be monsters." But monsters? Monsters are just gods written in lowercase. You own the night now. And the night is patient. It doesn't need revenge. It waits. It observes. It collects. You're not chasing them. You're haunting them. Every time they lie, your name echoes in the static. Every time they plot, the power flickers. Every time they look in the mirror, they see your reflection watching from behind their eyes. You became their karma with a human face. Their worst decision wearing a smirk. Their arrogance personified. And the best part? You didn't even have to lift a finger. The universe did the work. It just needed someone ruthless enough to hold the mirror still. So when they finally break, when the weight of their own deals comes crashing down, you won't even have to say, "I told you so." The silence will say it for you. The moon will say it for you. The night will whisper it in their dreams until they can't tell where guilt ends and your voice begins. Because this was never revenge. It was reclamation. You reclaimed your power, your narrative, your name. You became the lesson that keeps repeating until they learn it. You became the thing the darkness itself salutes when it passes. They made the wrong deal under that moon, and now they're paying interest. Every second, every breath, every heartbeat that sounds just a little too loud in the dark. And you stand there in the glow of that same cold moonlight, untouched, unreadable, unstoppable. Because you didn't just own the night, you became its heartbeat. You became its silence. You became the consequence. And now, my friend, the world spins under your rules. You remember the night they signed it, don't you? That paper-thin smile, those eyes hiding panic behind ambition, the kind of deal that smells like perfume and poison. They thought the moonlight made them invisible. They didn't realize it was recording every pulse, every lie, every trembling hand reaching for power that wasn't theirs to touch. You watched. You didn't speak. You didn't need to. The night spoke for you, humming through the wind, through the trembling glass, through the sound of their heartbeat stuttering when your shadow crossed the floor. They thought you were a rumor, a ghost of consequence. But the truth is, you were the contract itself. The living clause they forgot existed. The one that says, every action has a witness. Every betrayal has a collector. They made the wrong deal under that moon, and now you're the receipt. Because what they traded wasn't money, wasn't fame, wasn't even their souls. It was balance, and the night doesn't forgive imbalance. You're proof of that. You're the system's correction, the divine miscalculation that doesn't fit in their equations. You learned what they never could. Real power isn't loud. It doesn't shout. It waits. It walks in quietly, wearing patience like armor and inevitability like perfume. You mastered that art. You don't react. You allow. You don't chase. You attract. You don't beg for justice. You become it. And now, everywhere you go, reality bends ever so slightly to make space for you. Streetlights flicker like they're saluting. The air hums when you pass. Conversations shift when you enter. They can feel it. That eerie symmetry. Like something cosmic is balancing its books. You've turned the tables so completely that even the stars look different now. They orbit you, unconsciously. You've become that gravitational anomaly they can't explain. The one they whisper about when the cameras stop rolling. The one they study from afar, pretending not to tremble. It's funny, isn't it? How the same faces that mocked you now copy your silence. How the same mouths that cursed you now quote your phrases like scripture. They don't even realize it. They've been rewritten. The same way you were once broken, they're being bent. Slowly, quietly, elegantly. You were never meant to destroy them. Destruction was too small a goal. You were meant to redefine them. And you did. You infected their order with awareness. You made consciousness contagious. You didn't start a war. You started an awakening. But awakening, that's the most violent act of all, isn't it? It strips away illusion. It burns comfort to the bone. It makes even the righteous question their reflection. And when that happens, when they see themselves under that same moonlight they once used to judge you, the truth hits them like a cold slap from eternity. You were never the villain. No, no. You were the mirror. You were their secret made flesh. Their shadow given voice. You were everything they denied living inside them. Rage, chaos, divinity, hunger. Dressed in laughter and scars. That's why they hate you. Because you remind them of what they buried. You've become their reckoning wrapped in grace. The balance between madness and clarity. You are both the wound and the cure, the punishment and the prophecy. And every night, when the moon rises, the world realigns itself around your frequency. The liars grow quieter, the manipulators fumble, the powerful start to sweat. And somewhere, deep in the marrow of existence, the universe whispers, "He's awake again." You think this is chance? No, this is memory. The world remembers beings like you. Once in every few centuries, someone cracks the simulation. Someone learns to look pain in the eye and say, "You're my teacher now." And when that happens, reality shifts. Because you've learned the secret they never will. Darkness isn't the opposite of light. It's its origin. It's where light comes from. Every saint was born from shadow. Every savior forged in hellfire. You didn't become powerful despite your pain. You became powerful because of it. That's why the night chose you. It didn't need another hero. It needed a contradiction. It needed someone who could smile through blood. Someone who could weep and laugh at the same time. Someone who could hold destruction in one hand and mercy in the other. And not flinch. Now look at them. The same ones who thought you were gone. They can't rest. They scroll through screens like confession booths, hoping to find a way out of the prophecy they started. They see your name trending, your ideas spreading like wildfire, and they whisper, "It can't be him." But it is. It's always been you. You are the storm they invited but couldn't contain. The night they summoned but couldn't survive. You're the silence between two gunshots, the calm between two wars, the eye of a hurricane that learned to speak. The deal's been reversed, the contract rewritten. And the night? The night answers to you. look at you, untouchable. And they can feel it, can't they? The way the air bends differently when you walk in, the way the silence suddenly tastes like static. Every eye that once looked down on you now trembles just trying to look at you. Because you did the one thing they swore was impossible. You made reality your plaything. You don't follow rules anymore. You bend them. You don't chase chances. You manufacture them. You stopped asking the universe for mercy, and it started negotiating with you instead. And now they're scrambling, panicked, gasping, pretending they're not watching, while refreshing your existence like a headline that won't stop trending. They're in damage control, darling. Full lockdown. Sirens in their heads, alarms in their hearts, because the moment you realized pain was a resource, not a punishment, their entire strategy collapsed. You turned every heartbreak into a laboratory. Every betrayal became a new species of power. You studied agony like a science, dissected doubt like a corpse, and rewired yourself into something that doesn't just survive chaos. It feeds on it. And now they whisper your name like it's dangerous to say out loud. Because it is. You became a paradox in flesh. The saint who smiles like a sinner, the villain who saves themselves, the psychopath who learned empathy just to weaponize it. You see, they thought balance meant choosing sides. But you became both sides of the equation. You turned equilibrium into warfare. You made contradiction your camouflage. They can't categorize you anymore, and that terrifies them. Because when they can't define you, they can't control you. And when they can't control you, they start rewriting the narrative. Something's off about them. Must be luck. Probably cheating. No, you're just running a newer operating system, one they weren't invited to update. Every version of you that broke down became the infrastructure for the monster that now runs the show. You didn't grow stronger. You evolved smarter. You didn't rise above the pain. You became synced with it. You didn't heal. You repurposed the wound into a weapon. And that's what they'll never understand. That control isn't about holding on. It's about knowing when to let everything detonate and still smile while it burns. You turned fear into architecture. You sculpted madness into elegance. You let your demons learn table manners, and now they serve you tea while you rewrite fate. They're watching your every move now, trying to reverse engineer the chaos that birthed you. But chaos doesn't leave blueprints, does it? It leaves warnings, and you are the warning. You are the living proof that destruction can dress itself in grace, that light can bleed without dying, that the mind, when broken enough times, stops obeying gravity and starts orbiting itself. They wanted predictable. They wanted humble. They wanted you manageable. Instead, they got a walking variable, a glitch wearing a grin. They wanted to bury you under the weight of expectation. Instead, you became the undertaker of their illusions. Now look around. Every system that mocked you is cracking. Every mouth that doubted you tastes blood. Every hand that pointed fingers is trembling behind glass walls. Because you didn't play by their laws. You rewrote the physics of your own fate. You became the anomaly, the unexplainable, the glitch that learned to smile. So when you walk into rooms now and their laughter suddenly stops, don't flinch. That's not fear of you. That's recognition. They're realizing, too late, that you were never trying to join their world. You were building your own. Reality bends for those who stop waiting for permission, and you stopped asking the day you bled and thanked the pain for showing you where to aim. Now the universe follows your tone, your timing, your madness. You speak, and existence stutters. You blink, and destiny adjusts. So let them panic, let them rewrite, let them scramble to patch their precious order. It's useless, because the game is no longer in their control. The board is yours, the pieces are breathing, and every move you make now rewires the whole simulation. You broke their comfort, you burned their scripts, you turned their world into a stage, and then forgot your lines on purpose. You're not unpredictable anymore, you're inevitable. And the scariest part, you're still evolving. They're in damage control. And you're just getting started. You feel that? The static in the air? That's not paranoia. It's the sound of every frequency trying to adjust to you. The sound of reality struggling to compensate for your existence. The codes that used to bind you are trembling like old glass about to shatter, and they can't stop it, no matter how many emergency meetings they call behind closed doors. They're dissecting you in silence. They've built think tanks around your unpredictability, psychological files labeled anomaly. But no matter how many analysts they hire, no one can calculate why you're still standing, because everything they designed to break a person built you instead. Every collapse you had was an initiation. Every betrayal was an upgrade. Every scar turned into encrypted armor. They thought pain was supposed to humble you. But pain didn't humble you. It introduced you. You see, there are two kinds of people in this world: those who suffer and those who translate suffering. You learned the language of agony until it started confessing its secrets. You stopped asking, "Why me?" and started whispering, "Teach me." That's when everything flipped. Because once pain stops being your enemy, it becomes your blueprint. You built yourself out of fragments. You welded your sanity to your rage, your grace to your violence. You became art stitched with trauma and crowned with contradiction. You stopped chasing peace and started manufacturing power. And now they're shaking because they realize nothing you do is random anymore. Every pause is calculated. Every smile is a loaded weapon. Every silence is a countdown. You are the living embodiment of consequence. You are karmic physics in motion. You don't just walk into rooms, you tilt them. They whisper that you've changed. But what they're really saying is, we can't recognize what we tried to destroy. They wanted you linear, predictable, safe. But you became recursive, an infinite loop of evolution. Every version of you devoured the one before it. Every death you faced became reincarnation in real time. You're not even playing the same species anymore. You are post-human discipline wearing human skin. You are the scientific proof that madness, when understood, becomes precision. That chaos, when mastered, becomes rhythm. That the same darkness that breaks most people can be tuned into symphony if you're crazy enough to listen. And you listened. You heard what the void said when no one else dared to stay that long inside it. It whispered your name, the original one, not the name society gave you, not the one that fits on paper, the one that hums inside the bones when the world forgets you, the name you were given before you were broken into fragments for consumption. That's the one they fear. The version of you that doesn't need applause, doesn't need revenge, doesn't even need validation, the one that exists beyond narrative. Because now you've tasted power that doesn't advertise itself. You've discovered control that looks like surrender. And that's the ultimate paradox. They don't understand how someone can lose everything and still command the entire board. They think control is about domination. You learned it's about detachment. They think freedom is chaos. You learned freedom is silence inside the storm. They think you're insane. You know insanity is just the price of clarity in a world that's allergic to truth. You cracked the code of illusion. You realized reality is a mirror that folds when you stop believing it's solid. And when you did that, everything bent. Time, logic, consequence, perception. They thought you broke down, but no, you broke through. Now every time you move, their world glitches. Every time you speak, their framework warps. Every time you breathe, they lose a little control. Because you're not reacting anymore, you're conducting. You've become the frequency that dictates how things vibrate around you. They can't call it magic, because that terrifies them. They can't call it science, because that admits it's real. So they call it luck. They call it madness. They call it obsession, because labeling it helps them sleep. But deep down, they know. You're the calibration point. The reason their systems are misfiring. The proof that there's someone walking this earth who escaped the gravity of permission. You shattered their understanding of cause and effect. You made destiny blink. You taught consequence how to flinch. And still, you walk as if nothing happened. You carry it lightly. That's what kills them the most. Because they expected you to come back arrogant, vengeful, loud. But you returned calm. And calmness is the final form of domination. They're in damage control because you've made peace with chaos itself. You're no longer playing defense. You are the storm, and the more they resist, the more they feed you. Every rumor refuels your legend. Every doubt adds another layer of myth. Every attempt to erase you only deepens your echo. They're terrified because you've become something they can't kill. An idea with teeth. A ghost that bleeds truth. A smile that rewrites memory. So keep walking. Let them panic, patch, deny. Let them invent new names for the thing they can't contain. Because the truth is simple. They're not trying to stop you anymore. They're trying to understand you. And that's the end game, isn't it? When the world that once owned you starts taking notes from your chaos. Reality doesn't own you anymore. You own it. You made existence flinch. You made the impossible your plaything. And now it's too late for them to reset the game. You already became the glitch they'll worship next. And the funny thing is, you didn't even try, did you? That's what really sends them spiraling. You didn't need a campaign, a speech, a movement. You didn't need validation, permission, or a crown. You just moved differently. You acted like the rules were already yours, and the rules obeyed. That's when they realized you weren't playing the same game. You were writing it. Now every time you walk through their world, you leave fingerprints on reality itself. Invisible ones. Imprints in their patterns. You speak, and algorithms shiver. You breathe, and probability stumbles. You laugh, and systems glitch like static through old televisions. They've tried to analyze it, replicate it, contain it. But how do you quantify the ungovernable? You're a phenomenon with fingerprints, a ghost that still leaves footprints. They call you unpredictable, but that's because they can't see that your unpredictability is the pattern. You are chaos in precision form, not random, not wild, just perfectly free. They've started studying you like a virus that learned to rewrite DNA mid-transmission, watching, tracking, whispering your name in conference calls and private chats. How does he keep doing it? They ask. As if there's a formula, as if they could bottle divine rebellion. But what you are can't be duplicated. You're not success. You're signal interference. You're proof that someone can step outside the architecture of manipulation and live by instinct again. And that's the most dangerous contagion of all. Because when people see someone who's free, they start to question the walls around them. You're not the villain, you're the diagnosis. You're what happens when a system feeds someone poison and expects compliance, but instead, the poison becomes fuel. You metabolized betrayal. You digested lies. You turned rejection into jet fuel. You took the parts of yourself they tried to shame and rebuilt an empire from the ashes of your humiliation. That's why they panic when you speak. Because your words sound like freedom. Because your presence feels like defiance. Because your silence makes their certainty shake. They're in damage control because your existence broke their simulation. You were supposed to be ordinary, predictable, manageable, but instead, you became proof that reality is fragile. You turned existence into clay and molded it into your shape. You decided what should and shouldn't be possible. And the universe adjusted. That's not magic. That's awareness, weaponized. The moment you stopped reacting and started observing, you detached from the matrix of manipulation they call normal life. You saw how fear controlled behavior, how guilt maintained systems, how shame policed possibility. And you said, no more. That's when everything changed. They saw you step off the script, and the code began to shake. Every choice you made after that became a line of corruption in their software. You are living malware inside the illusion of order. And you know what the most terrifying part is. You're smiling. You're enjoying the collapse. You've stopped trying to prove you're good and started proving you're real. You stopped chasing perfection and embraced paradox. You let your light coexist with your shadow. You accepted that the monster and the miracle are the same entity wearing two expressions. That's why no one can predict you anymore. Because you don't exist at one frequency. You're a symphony of contradictions, saint and sadist, healer and destroyer, logic and madness. You don't hide your chaos, you curate it. And that, my friend, is the final evolution. When the very things that once destroyed you become the signature of your genius. They said you were too emotional. Now your emotion moves worlds. They said you were too intense. Now your intensity creates storms. They said you were too different. Now different is trending, and they're wearing your personality like a costume. They mocked your suffering while secretly taking notes. They called you broken while trying to buy the blueprint of your pain. They tried to silence you, not because you were wrong, but because your truth had rhythm. You didn't destroy them with violence. You destroyed them with proof. Proof that resilience is louder than revenge. Proof that silence can scream. Proof that authenticity burns through propaganda like acid through paper. And now, here they are, losing their composure in real time, pretending they're not obsessed, pretending they're not watching, pretending they don't hear your echo in every trend, your fingerprints on every movement, your energy pulsing in every idea they try to copy but can't embody. They're in damage control because you've turned influence into infection. You're not trending, you're haunting, you're not admired, you're studied, you're not famous, you're decoded. And yet none of it touches you anymore. Because power doesn't live in attention. Power lives in detachment. That's what breaks them the most. Your stillness, your ability to look at chaos and smirk, your refusal to chase what's already orbiting around you. Your calmness is violence now. A declaration of authority so silent, it sounds divine. You've become something they can't outsmart, can't outplay, can't outlast. Because you've stopped needing. Need is the leash they use to keep everyone obedient, and you cut yours. Now, reality listens to you. You speak, and it rearranges. You imagine and it conforms. You desire and it delivers. Not because you're lucky, but because you finally remembered. You were the architect all along. You didn't escape the system. You outgrew it. You didn't fight the darkness. You merged with it. You didn't find peace. You became the storm calm enough to hold peace in its center. That's why the universe keeps folding itself to fit around your will. Because it's yours. It always was. They just convinced you to forget. And now that you remember, there's no going back. You are the living correction, the inevitable rewrite, the glitch that became the code. So let them panic, let them tremble, let them whisper your name like it's a warning, because deep down, they already know. They're in damage control, and you're in command. And that's the part that makes them lose sleep. Not your success, not your strength, but your stillness. Because you're not chasing anything anymore. You're pulling everything in. You've crossed that invisible threshold where energy stops leaking out of you and starts revolving around you. You became the gravity they warned each other about. You're no longer reacting to the world. The world reacts to you. They watch you now the way people watch fire. Terrified to get too close, but hypnotized all the same. Every move you make exposes something in them. Every breath you take forces them to confront their own submission to a system you already dismantled in silence. They call it luck because they can't accept that you outgrew their gods. They call it arrogance because they can't comprehend that peace can exist without approval. They call it darkness because they can't handle how brightly you burn when no one's watching. They're not protecting the world from you anymore. They're protecting their illusion from collapsing because of you. And it's already too late. You've made reality self-aware. Every shadow you walked through learned your name. Every nightmare you survived rewired the dream. You made suffering intelligent. You made chaos conscious. You made the void obey. You're not just living. You're editing existence in real time. That's why you no longer explain yourself. You don't debate. You don't justify. You just move. And the world rearranges to accommodate your will. That's not arrogance, that's alignment. That's what happens when someone stops apologizing for their own evolution. You turned fear into a compass, pain into precision, rage into art. And now, they can't tell if you're a genius or a curse. Because how do you classify someone who made reality bend its knee? They thought they could contain you by misunderstanding you. They thought if they mocked you, ignored you, erased you, they could return to normal. But normal doesn't exist anymore. You deleted it. Every time you step forward, the map redraws itself. Every rule collapses. Every definition becomes obsolete. You are the living embodiment of impossible becoming routine. And still, you stay silent. Because power this pure doesn't need an audience. It just is. That's why they're in meetings trying to decipher your smile, trying to predict your next move, trying to find the lever that doesn't exist. Because once you stop needing validation, you become untouchable. Once you stop fearing isolation, you become infinite. You're not unpredictable anymore. You're quantum. You exist in multiple outcomes, and they're all in your favor. You don't chase the moment. You create it. You don't fit into stories. You become the mythology. So let them keep whispering. Let them keep patching the cracks. Let them keep pretending the structure still stands. Because you and I both know the simulation already failed the moment you smiled and meant it. They're in damage control, but there's nothing left to control. Because what they built to contain you became your kingdom. What they used to break you became your language. And what they feared would destroy you became your rebirth. So walk slowly, let the silence follow. You don't have to prove anything anymore. The proof is in their panic. The evidence is in their eyes. Reality belongs to you now, and they know it. You've made the impossible routine. You've made power quiet. You've made chaos beautiful. And as the world scrambles to repair itself, remember this: they're in damage control.